everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk, and thank you very much for joining me today. Today it's an inspiring blog hop day. Now if you don't know what that is, it is a day when once a month or so we get together, we being a group of Stampin' Up demonstrators, and we take it in turns to set a challenge, and we all create something in line with a particular theme. And when we've done it, we all link our blogs together, and you can start at one and work your way through. So if you want to start at my blog, and the link is in the in the description box below this video, you can go from there and you can work your way right round until you come back to me and see what we've all been up to. Now the challenge for today is Embossed Anniversary. This is a problem for me because I went through all of my stamps and I couldn't find one that said Happy Anniversary. We used to have one, but it retired. It was in the number of years stamp set, if you're interested. And also we don't have any numbers dies. So yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, but I decided that I would make my card to celebrate Stampin' Up's 30th anniversary, which we're celebrating this year. So stay with me, see how I get on. Here are the things that I'm using today. My card base is very vanilla, and I've just taken a piece and cut it to 11.5 inches by 4 inches, and I've scored and folded it at 5 3/4. And I should have said that is thick, very vanilla. I have a piece of Night of Navy, which is 3 3/4 by 5.5. That's going to be my card front. I've got some other scraps of card that I'm going to stamp and die cut. I've got some powder pink, Night of Navy, very vanilla, and some early espresso. I may also use some gold foil. I haven't quite decided yet. Definitely going to be using this. This is the tufted embossing folder, and I've got Versamark ink and Night of Navy, and my embossing powder. This is a mix of gold and silver, which I made by accident, but I'm going to use it anyway. But of course you could use just gold or just silver or whatever you fancy. To stamp, I'm going to use the Floral Frames stamps. I'm saying that very carefully because I couldn't get my teeth around it earlier on. And I've got the Floral Frames Thinlets. I think that's what they're called. I'll have to check that, and if it's called something else, I'll put the information just below here. So those are the main things that I'm going to be using to make my card today. And I'm back, and actually when I went to run this through the Big Shot, because it was one of the dynamic embossing folders, I didn't actually need the cutting plate at all. Alright, so you only need that if it's one of the ordinary embossing folders, and if you make a mistake, you will know because it won't go through the machine unless you force it. So don't force it, just take that cutting plate out of there and you will be fine, and you will wind up with something like this. So let me take away the inner bit, and can you see that that has a nice recessed edge to it. Right, next I'm going to take my Versamark ink, and I'm just going to run it very lightly across the surface of the card, just hardly touching it at all, but making sure that I've covered all of the card. And if you've tried the black magic technique, this is the same idea. So now I'm going to take my embossing powder and I'm going to sprinkle it. Which way around shall I hold it? That way, I think. Actually, I think I'll get something bigger. Here we go, coffee filter will probably make this easier to do. So I'm just going to sprinkle this generously with a coat of embossing powder and just tap away the excess. Okay. Now I have got way too much on there, so I'm just going to put this back into the pot before I do something silly. And now I've got a stencil brush, and I'm just going to brush away some of that embossing powder, so that I just leave just a hint, a suggestion of where it used to be. And if I think, oh, I've taken away too much, I can just put a little bit more. Okay, I think I'm happy with that, so let's pop that out of the way. And now the next thing I want to do is to heat it. I think I want some more embossing powder around the edge of the card, so I'm just going to drag the card along the Versamark ink pad, and I'm just going to drag it through some of the embossing powder, and hopefully some of it will stick. There we go. And heat these bits up. I've stamped on my piece of Very Vanilla with Versamark and gold embossing powder, and I've heat embossed it, and now I'm going to stamp the word love, sending love into the middle of my stamped and embossed piece. Okay, and I'm picking this because we're celebrating Stampin' Up's 30th anniversary, and in our statement of the heart it says that we love what we do and that we share what we do, and that's what I'm doing. So there you go. Perfect. Now I don't even need to cut that out, because what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mount that behind the frame, but I am going to go and cut out and stamp and heat emboss some flowers and some foliage to go around the edge. So I'll go away and do that. I'll be back in a minute. So as you can see, I've done a bit of cutting with my Sizzix, and I've also done a little bit of stamping and embossing, and I've got a fairly shabby chic look on to these pieces, and I'm quite happy with that because it kind of goes with the whole vibe of the card. So now I'm going to start putting it together. So I've also cut those out of some champagne card because I thought they'd go nicely. So yeah, I'm just going to start playing with the design and putting this together, and I'll speed up the video and give you some music to listen to while I do some assembly. And to put it together, I have dimensionals, so I'm going to pull these away first, the ones that are going to be holding this panel in place. to align that as carefully as I can. And now I can take the back off the rest of the dimensionals. And this can now go, actually, put a little bit of liquid adhesive on the panel just to make it, just to be sure, and I'll line this up onto my card front, and that is my Shabby Chic card. There it is, my finished embossed anniversary card, made without the use of the word anniversary or without any numbers. But hey ho, you work with what you've got, and that is what I've got. And it does have lots of embossing of both kinds, so I hope I'll be allowed to get away with that one. So that is it for today, and thank you very, very much for joining me. Would love it if you came back and saw me again sometime soon, but for now, bye bye.